So there's a bill at the State House that would remove Mike Madigan's image or name from anywhere on the State House premise. It's from a Republican, so we'll see if it gets any movement at all at the State House. Keep you posted on that, but of course that's just one element of the ongoing saga involving former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. And in particular, you've got the ongoing corruption investigation. Federal prosecutors saying they're not done investigating corruption, so there could be more shoes to drop, so to speak. But Madigan will be facing an arraignment this week on 22 counts of corruption, including racketeering and bribery and so on. But here is what State Representative Dan Calkins said on Friday. He said that on Facebook he was twice denied the right to speak on the House floor in regards to the Mike Madigan corruption indictment, but he finally had the opportunity to say a few words. Here's about 2.5 minutes of State Representative Dan Calkins, a Republican from Decatur, sharing his thoughts about the Madigan indictment and the shock waves it sends across Illinois politics. And here he is.
This week by federal prosecutors on 22 counts, including bribery and racketeering, is yet another stain on this body and politics in Illinois. Almost every important Democrat holding public office in Illinois right now is there because Mike Madigan put them there, and that includes many of us here, or you here, in the General Assembly, and Governor J.B. Pritzker. Madigan raised the money for your campaigns through the schemes he is now under indictment for. Madigan did all the heavy lifting and made all the decisions. He ran the campaigns, and Democrats fell in line. That money allowed you to fund campaigns that lied about your opponent or their policies or both. You know, I know, that any member that crossed him or didn't vote for him or his agenda was denied the funds to run your campaign or presented with a well-funded primary opponent. When pressed with the opportunity to stand up for what's right, to pursue real ethics reform, and to denounce the corruption we've seen over the past several years, you all remained silent. You all enabled the corruption that has driven this state into the abysmal condition we find ourselves in. Today, Illinois stands as a bad example of what crony policy and shady backroom deals can do to a once thriving state. We are at the bottom of every major indicator for prosperity: debt, job growth, taxes, population loss. We are one of the worst states in the nation for providing services to persons with developmental disabilities, and we've abandoned our friends in law enforcement. While Mike Madigan will be prosecuted for corruption, he should also be prosecuted for the destruction his reign has left on our state. This indictment of Mike Madigan is an indictment of the entirety of the Democratic Party, a party he was allowed to control for over 30 years. I know the people of Illinois are watching this, and I hope they will remember who has been responsible for the corruption and abuse of power that has been uncovered by a federal prosecutor, not our legislative inspector general, not the Special Investigations Committee, and not our attorneys general. It's past time for real reform in Illinois politics. Thank you.
So again, that was State Representative Dan Calkins sharing some of his thoughts Friday about the Madigan indictment and what it ultimately means. As far as the reverberations here, the fallout, just shockwaves being sent. Obviously, that's kind of a preview of sorts of what Republicans are going to be saying for months leading up to the November election. But the real world consequences of corruption, Lisa Kaplan laid out for us, it impacts taxpayers on a variety of fronts. Here's what she had to say about just the impacts of corruption in general.
Corruption is not a victimless crime, and it's important to remember that it does have real world effects on the ground. It can discourage investment, create more inequality. It really affects people's lives in Illinois. So it's really important to consider that when thinking about how important it is to really get rid of this problem.
So we'll see what happens. Of course, with the indictment handed down last week, arraignment this week, and the investigators saying their investigation continues. We'll see how all this plays out. It is the WMAY Morning News Feed. I'm Greg Bishop.